Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 2026-0710. Today we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. We begin with a story that highlights how AI platforms are increasingly becoming part of global technology policy. The Financial Times reports that OpenAI and Google have supplied advanced AI model access to Singapore based subsidiaries of Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent, even though the Chinese parent companies appear on the U.S. Section 1260H military company list. According to the reporting, those sales remain legal under current rules because the designation does not automatically prohibit software access for overseas subsidiaries. The report also says OpenAI suspended some Alibaba affiliated API users after suspected model distillation activity, while Google noted that geographic restrictions alone are not sufficient against sophisticated attempts to bypass controls. For AI platform teams, this is much more than a geopolitical headline. It illustrates that model APIs are becoming an important enforcement point for governance. Screening beneficial ownership, mapping subsidiaries and affiliates, monitoring account behavior, and detecting potential model extraction are becoming operational requirements alongside traditional security controls. Whether governments expand export rules or providers tighten their own policies will be an important trend to watch over the coming months. Our next top story comes from Google Research, which introduced Sensor FM, a wearable health foundation model trained on more than 1 trillion minutes of de-identified sensor data collected from 5 million consented participants. The research spans Fitbit and Pixel Watch devices across more than 100 countries and evaluates the model on 35 prediction tasks covering cardiovascular health, metabolism, sleep, mental health, lifestyle, and demographic outcomes. The technical contribution is particularly interesting because Sensor FM is designed around missingness-aware self-supervised learning. Wearable data is notoriously inconsistent, with gaps caused by charging, device removal, or irregular usage. Instead of treating those gaps as a nuisance, the model learns robust representations that can later be adapted with relatively small labeled datasets. Google reports that its largest model performed best on 33 of the 35 evaluated tasks. This remains research rather than a clinical product, but it points toward a reusable architecture for health AI. Teams working with biosignals, longitudinal sensor streams, or digital health applications may find the approach more valuable than building isolated classifiers for every individual prediction task. External validation, privacy governance, and clinical safety will remain essential before models like this influence regulated healthcare decisions. Staying with infrastructure and governance, the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, working alongside the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, has released a blueprint for Cyber Shield. Rather than treating agentic AI only as a cybersecurity threat, the proposal frames frontier AI as part of future national cyber defense infrastructure. The blueprint envisions defensive red and blue AI agents that can identify vulnerabilities, assist with mitigation, detect incidents, and coordinate information sharing across organizations. Just as importantly, it emphasizes explainability, authorization, identity, reliability, trust infrastructure, and careful governance before autonomous actions are permitted in production environments. This is still a planning document rather than a deployed national system, but it provides a useful reference for organizations experimenting with AI-powered security operations. The message is clear. Successful security agents will be judged not just by what they can automate, but by whether their actions can be understood, audited, and controlled. Our final top story focuses on changing dynamics in the AI model marketplace. Reports from Pandaily, supported by Dealroom data and broader industry coverage, suggest that Jeepu AI and DeepSeek are gaining attention among U.S. developers through aggressive pricing and improving model quality. OpenRouter usage figures cited in the reporting indicate Chinese models have maintained more than 20% weekly token share since February, with some periods approaching 30%. Dealroom also reports Chinese models reaching roughly 18 trillion weekly tokens by June, compared with about 5.5 trillion for U.S. models on OpenRouter. These numbers should be interpreted carefully, but the broader trend is significant. For many organizations, Model selection is increasingly becoming an economic optimization problem rather than simply a benchmark race. Lower cost models may enable new routing strategies and private deployments, provided teams also evaluate latency, security, compliance, reproducibility, and evolving policy risks. Competition based on price and accessibility continues to put pressure on premium frontier model providers to demonstrate measurable value beyond raw capability. Now, for a few other key updates in our lightning round. GitHub announced that OpenAI's GPT-5.6 Sol, Terra, and Luna models are rolling out across GitHub Copilot, including IDE integrations, the Copilot CLI, Cloud Agent, mobile applications, and the web experience. Enterprise administrators must explicitly enable GP 5.6 policies, reinforcing that model selection remains part of managed organizational governance. Google Cloud has made Alpha Evolve generally available on the Gemini Enterprise Agent platform. The Gemini-powered system focuses on algorithm and code optimization by searching candidate implementations against deterministic evaluation functions. Early users span logistics, semiconductors, genomics, high-performance computing, financial services, and machine learning training, making this a notable step beyond traditional coding assistance. India's Gujarat government has launched the Viksit Gujarat Data Center Policy 2026 through 2029, targeting 6 lakh crore rupees in investment and 7.5 gigawatts of data center capacity. The policy combines power incentives, renewable energy requirements, land, water, and streamlined approvals as it seeks to attract hyperscale infrastructure, particularly around Dholera. Voice AI startup Gradium has expanded its seed funding to $100 million with NVIDIA joining as an investor. Founded by researchers associated with QTI, the company is developing low-latency speech recognition, speech synthesis, translation, and voice agent infrastructure, while expanding into the San Francisco Bay Area. Tata Consultancy Services reported first quarter fiscal 2027 revenue of $7.624 billion and said annualized AI revenue reached $2.6 billion. The company highlighted multiple AI transformation engagements and partnerships, but enterprise customers will still want measurable evidence that AI-driven modernization improves operational outcomes. In transportation, Hanjin has launched South Korea's first paid autonomous freight service using a 25-ton truck operating along a 118-kilometer corridor from Gunsan Port through Jeonju to the Daejeon Mega Hub. The service still includes a professional safety operator, but regular commercial operations will generate valuable production data for autonomous logistics. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.